Hey, everybody, it's the Coach, and this is Monday Night Football on...
Coach, it's the NFL on EA Sports, and there you get a look at Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River in Cincinnati. Tonight, we reach the unofficial midway point of the season with a good Monday night battle between the Minnesota Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals. This will be fielded at the 8. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here come the Bengals now to take over. As we get a peek at their dynamic signal caller hailing from Mississippi State, it's Dak Prescott.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it in the middle of the schedule. Brought in here by Tyler Eifert. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive. First down.
I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a gain in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that opens things up for you on the outside as well.
That's where their big tight end, is so good. That Tyler Eifert, the 20. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Tyler Eifert, his third touchdown now on the year. And the Bengals are going to take a first-quarter lead. Charles, that was a heck of a play.
It truly was, because when he made that catch, he had to shake through some people, right? So that play, to me, a highlight film that should be accompanied by bass music, right? I mean, boom, 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 and he finds his way to the end zone. Terrific play.
Point after here coming up. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. So here's the Viking offense making their way out. They'll have Lamar Jackson calling the shots, the former Heisman Trophy winner from Louisville.
And you've got to think that they've got to be feeling pretty fresh. You know, coming off of the open week, didn't have to play, right? Gives them a chance to rest up a little bit, heal some of those aches and pains, and excited about playing again. That really rekindles things a little bit. I want to see how they come out and establish themselves here early.
And that bye week coming right where they want it, in the middle of the schedule. The first carry for the former Nittany Lion. This is Saquon Barkley. And he'll fight forward to about the 27-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
On second down, here's Barkley. He spins free. Space to maneuver at the 40. A tremendous play there from Saquon Barkley. 47 yards on the ground. I guess that's what happens when you give the current NFL rushing leader that much room.
And when you do, all you're doing is solidifying his standing at the top of the leaderboard. He's going to continue to get more and more yards. Good luck trying to chase him down.
The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. Wasn't a ton of space, but a great move. He's able to work it to the 20-yard line. It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
All right, Brad, I know we're in the early going here, but those kind of runs, they're going to open up a world of opportunities for this offense going forward.
On second down, Cook. They got 2 of the 3 they needed there. It leaves them with 3rd and just a yard. Defensive starters, here they are for Cincinnati. They are the 22nd ranked unit against the run in the NFL.
And when people talk about facing a challenge, They are certainly getting one in this ball game because they're facing the #1 rushing unit in the NFL, which means it's going to be a contest they've got to be prepared for from the first snap.
They'll try to run for it with Barkley. And he gets the first down yardage before he's brought down just outside the 10 at the 11. 7 yards there, good enough to move the sticks. If you make the stop there, maybe you hold them to 3 on this opening drive. They didn't get the stop.
Yeah, new set of downs now. Now you're worried about, just as you pointed out, not just giving up 3, possibly giving up 6. Let's see what they decide to do here because they've got to change up what they have been doing. It hasn't been working.
Now Saquon Barkley. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. Saquon Barkley, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Vikings are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
I can't help it, partner. I love backs who have a lot of burst.
Yeah, they ran the toss play. By the way, sometimes you'll hear toss and pitch used interchangeably, but that was the toss.
Well, for me, a toss, quarterback takes the snap, turns around, tosses it to
like
the tailback.
Like an egg underhand.
Yeah, like an egg underhand, really with 2 hands. And a pitch, usually like you're running an option-type play, and you pitch it out there to the trailing back.
Goes end over end like a field goal.
Yeah, where you turn it over, make sure that thumb turns down, and the ball flips end over end slowly and delicately to your running back.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll let Perkins carry to start the drive. And he'll get this one up to about the 39 here. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They run it here with Thompson. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. And a look now at the Cincinnati offense.
Out wide, they have A.J. Green, who can run every route you want on the route tree and take the top off a defense with his speed and has the length to go over the top of people to catch the ball. But maybe the most impressive thing about him, the only wide receiver ever to be a Pro Bowler in his first 7 years in the NFL.
Throwing, Prescott. And the athleticism on the spin move allows him to pick up the first before he's brought down. 7 yards on the quick slant and a first down.
Someone sharp in this game. I mean, a touchdown pass on the first drive, he comes right back, and he's flinging it around really well here.
Really nice throw there to pick up the first down. You kind of just feel a laser focus and confidence about him, and I think we saw that this week, didn't we? Talking to him and the coaches, they felt good about his performance coming up.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that last practice we saw when they went through 2-minute drill, when they went through all the different situations. Ball hardly hit the ground, and I thought, yeah, he might be locked in for this one.
But they face a 2nd and long to start things out. They'll run it now out of the gun. And again, the run defense stout this time. He maybe gets back to the line of scrimmage, but no more. Maybe a gain of a yard that time, but yeah, from the spot, actually no gain. So 3rd and long. On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He's got his man here. It's Green. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Green's first catch of the game. Good for a 1st down. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down. I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down, a very solid gain on that play.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. 3rd and short yardage. Prescott. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And he's able to get the 1st here as he's taken down at the 25. His first catch, good for 8 and a 1st down.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Prescott looking middle, and it's incomplete. His big tight end, Tyler Eifert, the intended receiver. And it's 2nd down. Defensively, Charles, they continue to really limit this offense as far as yardage goes.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been assignment sound, staying in their lanes, keeping proper leverage, and communicating well, too.
And he'll keep it moving down to the 15-yard line. 9 yards on the pickup there as he'll be left with 3rd and 1.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
They'll run with Thompson. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
They tried to run right into the teeth of the defense on 3rd down, but looked like those teeth were pretty sharp.
They were having absolutely none of it. Stuffed him for a loss.
Yeah, couldn't get any leverage up front and move people aside in order to run the ball.
So they get 3, certainly hoping for 6 after a 13-play drive.
So you console yourself on defense by saying you did your job, right? If they go 13 plays, you only give up a field goal, you did a nice job there. But here's the other part. 13 plays, you don't force any mistakes, you don't take the ball away. Maybe that's the way they should look at it.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. They'll be looking to get in the end zone again. Had the touchdown, as you see, last drive on 4 carries. And during the break, we were looking at some of the replays from the previous drive. Really good holes created, great space.
Yeah, I like the observation you had there during that break about, okay, they've got to do something to slow down their runners. So is it bringing in more defensive linemen? Is it dropping in extra linebackers? What are you going to do? Personally, I'm going to take my safety and drop him into the box. I'm going to have at least 7 in there until he shows that he can beat me through the air.
Yeah.
I've got to slow down the running game.
I was just going to say, you'll take the exposure in the passing game over the top until you can prove that you can stop the running game.
Sometimes you go cold because you haven't thrown it in a while. Let's see if he can heat up again.
They snap it at 1. Now it's Jackson. And he'll be grabbed from behind and slung down like a rag doll.
Now that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. Led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
On 2nd down, here's Jackson. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. That one goes for 36 yards.
The goal for any offense versus a zone defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. A first down carry for Barkley. And this play gets blown up. They'll lose yardage. Back at the 17. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second. The pitch goes to Barkley. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
A toss out to Barkley. And this play goes nowhere. Losing yardage back to the 15. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Daniel Carlson now for the Viking field goal. The kick by Carlson is good. And that will knot things up here late in the first half. So unable to convert for the touchdown inside the red zone, but they do come away with 3.
Yeah, it's a 32-yarder. That's essentially an extra point nowadays, right? Because it's 33 as a general rule for these guys. So it should be a simple kick. But you know what's really strange nowadays? When they miss an extra point, I think they carry that with them longer than missing a field goal because an extra point's supposed to be automatic.
Absolutely, and I would think even field goals inside of 30 yards, even though they're substantially shorter than a PAT, it just has a different feel, doesn't it?
A different feel, a different vibe. That's what I get from all the kickers I've talked to. They always say, if I miss an extra point...
He rifles one that's intercepted. Xavier Rhodes with a pick. And he's going to score. It's a Viking touchdown. So a pick 6 there out of the nickel package. They went with 5 DBs.
Almost becoming the base package in the NFL is the nickel. Hard to throw against. That was demonstrated one more time. A pick 6 going the other way.
Carlson on for the PAT. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And that makes it a 17-10 score. So they throw the pick 6. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Dak Prescott of the offense heading back onto the field. He's had a solid start to this game, but bottom line is they're losing, so he doesn't care about his stats. He just wants to right the ship on the scoreboard.
He wants to actually increase his stats because he feels like if he does, that means things will get better for his team, maybe get them back into the ball game or into the league. In these situations, I remember playing with a quarterback once where he actually ran out onto the field first ahead of everyone else just to say, guys, let's go. Try and create that energy, create that spark.
Well, so far he has 1 touchdown, 1 interception. He'll be looking for that 2nd touchdown now. So we hit halftime with our visitors, the Vikings, taking the lead to the locker room. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Welcome in, everyone, to our EA Sports Halftime Report. Let's get you caught up on what's going on around the NFL. We'll get started down at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami, where you see the final score there. 13-10, the final score. Next, we'll take the trip north to the Steel City to check on the Steelers at home in Pittsburgh. And they were winners in that game over the visiting Detroit Lions. Ben Roethlisberger, 2 touchdown passes as his guys remain unbeaten. Lastly, let's check on one final game for you. And you can see they are scoreless as they play the second quarter. Meanwhile, in our game, it's been a back-and-forth first half. Who can put it together in the second half? For the answer, we turn it back over to our broadcast team of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. The Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Out come the Vikings. They'll have it first on offense as we begin the third. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. Second half begins with a run from Barkley. He finds an opening past the 40, and he'll finally be taken down just shy of midfield. Good yardage as he rumbles for 24 and a first.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
All right, here we go. Green 39, green 39.
They keep it with Barkley on first down. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Detroit. Here we go now. Green 39, green 39.
Jackson on first down. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. The linebacker, Preston Brown, there to knock that one away.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
So second down and 10. Once again, they'll go from the 40. Second and 10. Here's Jackson again. And going deep for Hill. So the long attempt falls innocently to the ground, and it brings up third. Big play coming up. Here's third and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here. But that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice, getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the deep.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Picked up by Jesse Bates. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams actually doing that.
Oh, Prescott stripped. And this belongs to the Vikings.
The psychology of the game never ceases to amaze me because you would think there would never be a fumble from what we hear from coaches all the time, right?
And how much they practice not fumbling.
Practice it, preach it, talk about it all the time. You would think no one would ever turn it over. Yet they are humans out there running around, and we just saw another one.
Opportunistic by the defense. They'll try and run for it with Barkley. And he will take this one into the end zone for a Viking touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his second touchdown of the night. And the Vikings capitalize on the short field as they take it in for 6. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This will be fielded at the 8. good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. The Minnesota defense, we watch them get set to roll. Recovered the fumble, up on the scoreboard. They've got the momentum.
And that's a confident group that we see hitting the field again. Just what you talked about. Took away the ball in the last possession. They feel like they can go ahead and do it again. They are locked in and feeling good about how this game is going.
And they're playing free. They're playing loose.
Yeah, and that's a good thing. You know, sometimes it can be a bad thing if you're too free, too loose, and you give up your responsibilities. But not this unit. They are ready to go.
A second down throw for Prescott. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. They'll get 14 on that one. Good for a Bengal first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
Again, a run with Thompson. He'll get 3 up to midfield.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Prescott now from the 50. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. Give him 10 yards there as this offense is on a roll. This drive continues to plunge forward. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much.
And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they?
Yeah, when we talked about him, they did.
Yeah, you know, they like his work ethic. You know, this guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time. Really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on.
And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. 23 yards on the play. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. Go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. 7 yards to pick up on the pitch and catch. Able to get 7 on that first down pass play. 2nd and 3. They'll throw again. Prescott. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run. Back now in Cincinnati. It's the Bengals. They've got the football, but they trail here as we get rolling in quarter number 4. 3rd and long for Prescott. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. It'll be a gain of 8, but it'll also lead to a 4th down.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. And he's got his big tight end, Eifert, and it's a Bengal touchdown. Tyler Eifert, a beast in the red zone with his 2nd touchdown of the game. And the Bengals able to get this back within a touchdown.
I know Paul Revere talked about by land or by sea, right? You know, 1 by land, two by C. He didn't mention air because right now we're seeing a big-time performance, aren't we? That's 2 touchdowns so far in this game.
Where'd you pull that one from?
Hey, you know, every now and then I actually listened in history class.
And you're just a scholar all the way around. You're reading all the time. I like that you fit that into the broadcast.
You know, I just grab a nugget when I can.
And he's all the way up across the 40 and down at the 42-yard line. Great return.
Now, that's the kind of return you're looking for. To get to that spot on the field, that allows you to do a lot of things on offense.
The offense takes the field, and we turn our attention to Saquon Barkley. He's already hit pay dirt twice. He's up over 100 yards. He is feeling good.
He's just zipping along today. Everything coming together for him. It's that type of a day that you see a back just kind of have a grin on his face every time his number is called. Because he doesn't feel like there are going to be any lost yardage plays. Nothing but big-time positive runs.
Making the sideline grin as well. And he'll go out of bounds. It appears right at the 45. And give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
Well, Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back in New Paltz, Mrs. Barthema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. A good gain of 14 there, and it moves the chains.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the 4th as it was way back in the 1st, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
Now a toss right to Barkley. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
Yeah, think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
That is caught right at the 10-yard line. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. That goes for a gain of 31. Defensively, they're okay with that. Short little route, tackle him inbounds. Okay.
All right, cliche alert. It's time for someone to make a play because they've got to have something bigger downfield. They can't just take what they give them. They've got to force it and make something big happen for them.
Patriot!
They'll run with Cook. And he's going to be taken down here with a penalty flag on the field.
Holding offense.
You need your wide receivers as blockers. Sometimes they get a hold.
The big runs are often a result of what they do on the perimeter. In this case, got caught holding, and this one will come back.
A terrible spot for a holding call as they'll try again, but now from further back on 1st and goal. Jackson from the shotgun. And incomplete, a drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
Those throwing windows get a lot tighter near the end zone, don't they? And here's the thing. You already probably have 3 points in your hip pocket. You force a throw here and give up an interception, you come away with nothing.
Especially tough in the middle third of the field where he threw that one. Fighting to stay upright. Now he's going the other way. And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down.
Well, that wasn't a completion, but it wasn't a sack either. So the good takeaway, able to extend the life of the play. Normally you would think he'd just take off and run downfield. He was trying to find an open receiver, unable to do so.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long.
Watch it now, Barney!
They pitch it out to Cook. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for 4th down.
Watch it now, Barney!
They'll run for it. Cook. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now, there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
Offside. Defense.
And yes, they want the point, so they will decline the penalty. No question there.
You don't think they spent a couple of seconds mulling over what the penalty would do? I don't
even know why they asked the sideline.
Not at all. When you put the ball in the end zone on a takeaway, take the points and keep moving.
Showing some grits and some guts going for it there. 4th and goal, pounding it in.
And being rewarded for that confidence in the team, huh? The coach saying, let's go ahead and get this. And how about the guys up front firing out, finding a little bit of a crack for them to get through? Touchdown. I love it.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Complete to the right side. It's Eifert. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Time for a break. We'll come back to wrap this one up after this. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Prescott now on 2nd down. Caught Eifert over the middle. A very solid gain of 27. First down now, but that clock rolling. Prescott on first down. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Ben Gideon in there to take him down, and the clock will roll. Second down, Prescott. And he fends him off. Got a man out of the backfield. It's Chris Thompson. 20. And again the footwork. And all the way in for a Cincinnati score. Chris Thompson, his 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Bengals have got it back to a 1-score game. Okay, game on. Don't go anywhere yet. You got a 1-score game now. Probably going to rely on the onside kick coming up.
Yeah, they have to. It's not a high percentage play, but it's better than not having a chance at all. And that's when you put your leapers and your flyers on one side, get that high hop, and hope that one of the guys can come up with it.
And on the other side, get that hands team ready.
No doubt about it.
Extra point splits the uprights. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. So a 7-point game, they'll need a recovery, the touchdown, and an extra point to tie. And the Vikings able to recover. The hands team does its job. A tough one there. They certainly wanted that when they needed it, but they didn't absolutely have to get it. They still do have 3 timeouts.
You're exactly right. They had to attempt it. But even though they didn't get it, as you noted, with 3 timeouts, if they can get these stops on defense, all hope is not lost.
And despite the late lead, Jackson to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And some space here. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
How many times have we seen this late in the 4th quarter? Because you know the pass rush is getting after him, and they get upfield, get that great push, and what do they create? Space, and he takes off.
We're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. Now Jackson. He's going to go up top for the end. And this is caught. And that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Carlson now to kick this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Cincinnati now ready to take the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Hey, here we go. 480.
A first down throw for Prescott. Got his man. It's Eifert. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
They really love to get him into one-on-one opportunities, and this is one way. Work him out of the slot and create a mismatch. Who's going to cover him? Corner, safety, linebacker? He's got a way to beat all of those positions.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. And a stoppage here, a timeout before this third down play takes place. As the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in quarter number 4. Prescott from the gun on third. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked up by Mike Hughes. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. Both defenses have had their struggles, but they've been good enough to get them this lead, and another nice play there to help preserve the lead.
It's been a game of punch-counter-punch, hasn't it? All throughout. But this time, the big swing was taken, and it didn't land. Nice play by them on defense.
They've got good starting field position as they come up here 1st and 10. Oh, Jackson's going to throw it. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. William Jackson with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line. Two-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on it and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
He gets it to Humphreys. A gain of 32 that time. Clock management definitely critical here if they want to get back in this game.
Absolutely agreed. They have to up the tempo in this case, down a couple of scores. Want to make sure they have a chance to win this ball game.
On 1st and 10, Prescott. Pressure coming from the Vikings, and they get there and bring him down. Now before this second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout, as the clock will stop with just under 30 seconds left to go. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. Here's Prescott. And bulldozing his way through. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now, there is a flag down, but I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well, and it works for them.
Extra point safely through. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. And the Vikings hands team able to recover. And that should just about do it. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we've brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball.
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. That one looks like he'll throw here. Flush to his right. It's caught inside the 25. And the clock will now stop as a timeout is called with 5 seconds left. Throwing now is Jackson. Oh, no, he lost the football. And the offense will get the ball back and be touchdown. And with that, this game is over. Really a great game that we just saw, Charles. Interesting ending, that's for sure. You don't usually see a fumble on the final play of the game, but they were just trying to do whatever they could to get in the end zone. They coughed it up.
I think you're exactly right on that. You do what you have to do to try and win the game. They gave it a shot. You're exactly right about a fumble, then finishing the game, getting the recovery. Wow, a strange ending, but a heck of a game overall.
So for the Vikings, the win moves them up to 5-2 now on the year. And they'll return home next week to take on the Green Bay Packers. Meanwhile, for the Bengals, they fall a game under the 500 mark at 3-4 through 7 games. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Denver Broncos. So for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Next game, guess what? Charles and I will be here again. It's the NFL on EA Sports.